Hi, and welcome to News Drops TV, where we add a humorous twist, when needed, to the news mixology.
I'm Buck Up Weenie. No time for weak spirits, cry towels, or comfort rooms from this perspective.
And I'm Shirley kidding. But seriously, folks, I'm not. Welcome to News Drops TV, where we drop the news, some truth bombs, and watch the deep state darkness recoil as light hits it.
Well, Shirley, looks like Silicon Valley is finally discovering that hiring people who can actually do the job might be more important than checking boxes on HR forms for gender identities and pronouns.
You're not kidding, Buck. Google's dropping their diversity targets faster than a hot iPhone at a swimming pool. And get this, Amazon's HR executive, named Candy of all things, says they're evaluating effectiveness. Maybe some of that sweet name will sour up when it's found out that color, gender, or noun names don't matter for job roles. That it actually matters to have the correct mental aptitude and technical skill to align with the job role.
And PayPal's gone full Marie Kondo on their SEC filing, removing their entire DEI section, that's diversity, inclusion, equity, and belonging for those who don't speak corporate word makeup. They'll be further expanding the acronym as part of the race to have the most letters in their title. The winners get an ice cream and gentle conversation with Joe Biden.
Wait, DEI? Are you kidding me? Even their acronym sounds like a warning label. It's dangerous in the forest of inclusion. You never know who you're offending or what's going to drop on you from anywhere.
In a powerful moment at the National Prayer Breakfast, President Trump shared how a recent assassination attempt strengthened his faith.
You know what they say, God works in mysterious ways, and sometimes he gets your attention with a near miss.
The president's call to bring religion back certainly struck a chord. And Shirley, I'm not kidding when I say this might be exactly what the country needs right now. I thought I heard a horrible screech and moan coming from the direction of Hollywood. Oh, there's another coming from the direction of DC.
Moving to international news, Secretary of State Marco Rubio is doing some fancy footwork explaining to USAID workers why their 30-day eviction notice isn't really an eviction notice.
Nothing says diplomatic relations quite like telling people we didn't mean to uproot your entire life, but pack your bags anyway.
You're not kidding. They had to a quick 2-hour meeting to figure out which programs they actually want to keep. Here's a partial list of some of what our tax dollars covered. $16.8 million to Vietnam for DEI initiatives. Weigh that against the money spent to assist our war veterans. $8.3 million for U.S. education for equity and inclusion. In this case, it's far more important to get your pronouns correct moreover, knowing that 1 + 1 does not equal 11. The Chinese dictatorship is still laughing on that. One of my favorites was the $34 million that went from our government to Politico. That's just for 2024. And Politico is unbiased in their reporting on government issues. From laptops to dossiers, Politico can spin a good multi-million story and ground it firmly in the vaporous swamp. Talk about government efficiency.
On to Middle East news, where President Trump has clarified his Gaza takeover proposal, stating no U.S. soldiers would be needed.
Are you kidding me with these beautiful new communities he's promising? It's like extreme makeover Middle East edition.
Though I notice Egypt and Jordan are doing the diplomatic equivalent of hello, I can't understand you when it comes to taking in Palestinians. So, there has to be a good reason why no other Arab or Muslim nation will take in the Palestinians. Egypt could knock down the wall they have on their desert that holds back entry, and let them have that desert area. Jordan could help with guided tours. Heck, couldn't Turkey lend a hand?
Speaking of property disputes, while in the Dominican Republic, Marco Rubio's about to announce we've seized a Venezuelan government plane. And you're not going to believe how long it's been sitting there.
Nothing says sanctions quite like keeping Maduro's private jet in timeout since September. You get your plane, but first we're going to load it with some of the criminals you dropped in our Midwest. In business news, President Trump is meeting with U.S. Steel and FedEx CEOs today.
Are you kidding? After Biden blocked that $14 billion Nippon Steel deal, this should be interesting.
And with those new China tariffs affecting FedEx, especially on those low-cost items, how's that Temu? Maybe the shopping goes down, when more people get hit with tariffs and knowledge that the Temu app has more electronic spy appendages on you than the Truman Show. Now, there's a trustworthy app. It's sponsored by the Chinese Communist Party. What could go wrong? In sports news, President Trump has signed an executive order titled Keeping Men Out of Women's Sports.
You're not kidding about how sweeping this is. The NCAA's Charlie Baker must be doing cartwheels, finally getting that federal clarity he asked for. Seems Leah Thompson and the likes will need to return to competing with their own and stop pounding on women and girls. So is it that they love women or really dislike them?
Watch for Thompson's book release, My Brave Journey Crushing Girls and Getting Trophies.
Breaking news from Colorado, where ICE is conducting major raids targeting the Tren de Aragua gang.
After that December kidnapping and torture incident, I'd say it's about time.
Representatives of organizations supporting immigrants in Colorado and Democratic state legislators were quick to speak out against the federal raids. We, as a Latino service provider, categorically condemn these raids that are intended to sow fear, division, pain, and suffering among our communities, said Rudy Gonzalez, President and CEO of Denver's Servicios de la Raza. Andrea Loya, Executive Director of Casa de Paz, said Wednesday's immigration enforcement was instilling fear in our communities.
Oh yeah, tell that to the apartment residents that were brutalized for hours this past year because of the gang takeovers, or residents that don't dare wander into those areas due to the overwhelming violence. Really sow fear, pain, and suffering? That happened when Venezuela President Nicolas Maduro decided to empty his jail cells and send those residents to the U.S. along with any other unwitting, good-intentioned families just wanting a better way. As you turn your head on the criminals and their behaviors, be sure you turn it in the direction of those folks that got pistol whipped by them. In border news, folks, it looks like border czar Tom Homan is channeling his inner Clint Eastwood with a message to Mexican cartels. Go ahead, make my day.
Are you kidding me? He literally told them President Trump would wipe them off the face of the earth if they mess with our troops.
Well, Shirley, seems like the cartels have been playing Monopoly with our border for too long, and Trump's about to flip the game board.
You're not kidding. Homan straight up said violence might escalate because we're hitting them where it hurts. Right in the wallet.
And let's be honest, the cartels taking on the Mexican military is one thing, but the U.S. military? That's like bringing a switchblade to a drone fight.
Though I have to say, Buck, declaring a national emergency on day one, talk about hitting the ground running.
Well, Shirley, when you're dealing with cartels making more money than some small countries, sometimes you need to skip the warm-up lap.
Are you kidding? With these guys raking in drug money faster than a Vegas casino, it's about time someone brought a bigger stick to the fight.
And that stick happens to be the entire U.S. military. I'd say that qualifies as a rather substantial deterrent, wouldn't you? And finally, new Attorney General Pam Bondi isn't wasting any time, targeting DEI programs at private companies and universities on day one.
Are you kidding? She's barely had time to arrange her office furniture.
It all just needs clear evaluation and some sense put in place. I'm much better off with a firefighter that can carry me out of a burning building because of stature, and because I may have gotten myself into a bad situation. Well, over the DEI hire, that said it's my problem and maybe I deserve to burn up because it's my problem and I got myself into that situation. But at least that DEI hire that rejected saving me had the same skin tones that I do, I think to myself as I'm fading out. The LA assistant fire chief really went there? Yeah, it's time to reevaluate what's important. And that wraps up tonight's news. Remember, folks, the truth is out there. Usually somewhere between the headlines and your ears.
And I'm Shirley kidding. But actually, I'm not. From News Drops TV, that's it for now. Be thankful and enjoy what you have. It's more than you think. If you liked our content, please give us a like and hit subscribe for more views through the News Drops TV scope.